There's a reason why your LinkedIn posts are dying after only 2 hours, and we're going to cover how and why that's the case, and more importantly, how to keep them alive. And part of the problem here is that in the first hour, you may be finding you're getting 10 to 20 likes, maybe even a comment or two, and you're thinking, okay, this seems to be going quite well, and then the post seems to die. No more engagement, no more reach, and you've got limited impressions. And this is the post-death problem, because your posts are dying after a couple of hours and you're not then getting the visibility you need to actually generate leads. But the good news is you can actually fix this. Now, to understand why your posts are dying, you need to understand a bit more about how LinkedIn's algorithm works, because there's three main stages. The first one is the initial test. So in the first 1 to 2 hours, LinkedIn shows your post to a small percentage of your network, maybe 10 to 20%, and it's testing to see if people engage. The second step is then expansion. If your post performs well in the initial test, LinkedIn will expand its reach to basically a larger audience, which is your extended network and beyond. And then the third stage is virality. If your post continues to perform well, LinkedIn will then push it even further and it will go viral within your niche. Now, most posts never make it past stage 1 because they die during the initial test, and this is why your reach becomes so limited. So the question then becomes, so why do posts actually die in stage 1? Now, the first reason is low engagement rate, because if your post gets 10 likes but 1,000 impressions in the first hour, that's a 1% engagement rate. So LinkedIn thinks, well, this post isn't resonating, let me stop showing it. The second reason is no comments, because comments can be worth more than likes in the algorithm. So if your post gets likes but no comments, it won't necessarily keep extending. The third reason is that you're not engaging with the commenters. So if someone comments and you don't reply, the algorithm thinks the conversation is over and it can stop pushing your post as much. So the algorithm thinks your post isn't valuable, and so it will start to kill it. So there's 7 tactics to keep your post alive for 48 hours, which you can see on screen, but we're going to cover each one in more detail to make sure you can maximize this opportunity. Now, the first tactic is the hook in the first line. So the first line of your post, this is the most important one because it determines whether people click the see more option or they just scroll past. So I want you to compare these two hooks. The first one, I've been thinking about LinkedIn lately. And the second one is your LinkedIn profile is costing you 100K per year. Now, the first one is weak, nobody actually cares, whereas the second one is strong, it actually stops the scroll. So strong hooks lead to higher engagement, which then signals to the algorithm that your post is actually valuable, and this then extends its lifespan. Now, the second tactic is to ask a question. Now, questions generate comments, and comments are worth more than likes in the algorithm. So for example, you could say, what's the biggest mistake you see people making on LinkedIn? Now, when you ask a question, people feel more compelled to answer. This then generates comments, and more comments signal to the algorithm that your post is valuable, and it will keep pushing it. So end every post with a question, and this is one of the easiest ways to extend post lifespan. The third tactic is to reply to every comment immediately. So when someone comments on your post, reply within 5 to 10 minutes because every reply counts as new engagement. This signals to the algorithm that the conversation is active, and the algorithm thinks people are still engaging with this post, let's keep showing it. If you don't reply, the algorithm will think the conversation is over and it will stop pushing that post. So replying immediately is one of the most powerful tactics to extend post lifespan. The fourth tactic is to tag relevant people. So in your post or in the comments, tag 2 to 3 people who would add value to the conversation. For example, you could say something like, I'd love to hear John Smith's take on this, or this reminds me of what Sarah Johnson said last week. When you tag someone, they get a notification, so they're then more likely to engage, and this generates more comments and extends your post lifespan. You don't need to overdo it with this, only tag people who are actually relevant, otherwise it can just look spammy. And tactic number 5 is to post at optimal time. So try and post when your audience is most active. For many B2B audience, that could be Tuesday through Thursday, 7 till 9 a.m. or 12 till 1 or in the evening. And when you post at optimal times, you'll get higher initial engagement because more people will see your post in the first hour, and then more people will engage. Higher initial engagement signals to the algorithm that your post is valuable, and it pushes it to stage 2 and beyond. The sixth tactic is to use engagement bait strategically. So engagement bait is a controversial take or a polarizing statement that generates comments, even disagreements. For example, posting every day on LinkedIn is killing your business. Now, some people will agree with that, some people will disagree, both will comment. And comments will extend your post lifespan. So use this strategically. Don't just be controversial for the sake of it, but also don't be afraid to take a stand on something that your audience cares about. And tactic number 7 is to reshare after 24 hours. So after 24 hours, you can reshare your post with a new comment. add a new perspective or summarize the top takeaways from the comments. So for example, this post got a lot of great responses yesterday. Here are my top 3 takeaways. Now, when you reshare, LinkedIn treats this as a new activity, so your post will get pushed to the top of your network again and it will get a second life. This is one of the easiest ways to extend your post lifespan to 48 hours or beyond. And the key here is that the first 60 minutes are critical, because this is when the algorithm makes its decision about whether to expand your post in the first 1 to 2 hours. So your goal is to maximize engagement in the first 60 minutes. Be online, reply to every comment immediately, and engage with people who engage with your post. If you post and then just disappear, your post will die. And if you post and stay active, your post will really thrive. And if you do this, you'll find you're going to get many more impressions, many more profile visits, and you'll generate more leads as a result of that without having to post more. And that's also going to extend the lifespan of your reach overall. And that's really the power of these 7 core tactics. This is the type of thing we cover within our Influx autopilot system to help you to generate leads on autopilot through LinkedIn with a guarantee of at least $50,000 in net new pipeline within 90 days or less. So if you'd like to learn a bit more about that, I'm going to leave a link in the description box below of this video for you to check out and find out more. Outside of that, I hope you found this particular video helpful. If you did, please do take a second to like it, comment, share, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video.